I have in this hell pen actually 3 types of plasma, I can say like that. One is from matter, one is from liquid, and one is from light. And I have here the light, because this is the light, actually it is the central nerve. This is my idea, and it's also, you can do this, and I tested, and 2 people and 3 people, actually five people, and 3 of them, they feel electricity and like a current and the arm what I touch it, and I also feel it that too. And also my idea first, after that I see it like a galaxy, but the idea was going from I see a cartoon or something like that when I was a small child, and was a stone like a diamond or something like that, and the light was going through that stone. Like in my case, the light is going through the liquid plasma, and after that is coming out. And this was my idea. And after that, I like after in the cartoon, the light when hit the flower or hit the man, make him younger, or make him or give of or the flower change, was dead and get to the life back. And yeah, and after that I see him like a galaxy. And I never feel anything plasma so powerful like this hell pen. And it's just a tube with liquid plasma inside, magnetic and gravitation coils, and this device with light. Yeah, this is what I made. This was my idea, and I think you understood, Mr. Cash, about what was my idea and how I built it, this hell pen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Maybe this is what you see in the movie, laser lights, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions?
This is Ali from Spaceship Institute. I would like to extend the hand of peace to SpaceX and Elon Musk and ask them to sign the peace treaty so we can work together and build a spaceship together, and we'll share the technology, and I would like to offer the hand of peace. So that's what I would like to say.
At the moment, as we say, they lost heavily in this launch, and one way or another they'll understand. They say thank you for doing it one day, but we have to do things that it actually brings things in order. Any other question?
Mr. Cash, what's the importance of today?
I don't know. You tell me. Tomorrow is a big day.
Okay, so today is not important.
In the Jewish calendar, tomorrow, 16th of September 2016, is known as a point of change. We are expecting, if we are correct, a talk from some of the world religious leaders in the next few days, coming weeks, to announce a very big change in position in respect to the belief of their structure of belief. You will see it when it happens and when it comes. Any other question?
Mr. Kesh, Stefan Fife had something he wanted to ask about, I think, or show and ask about with his system.
Yeah. Can you give me 1 minute? You can carry on in the background. I have to stop for a minute. I'm just going to do something. 1 minute, please.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Rick. How are you doing?
Good. Let me get you lined up here.
Yeah.
Not getting your video. Not getting your video coming through for some reason here. Whoops. What happened? Let's try it again. There we go.
Yeah, it's okay. I lost my connection there for a reason or another.
Ah, okay.
So yeah. Well, let me run my questions by you, Rick, while we're waiting, and at the same time, Mr. Tesh, to think about the answers along the way. I don't know if you remember the carousel.
Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. We have to mute all here. Trying to find this switch. Just a second. I'm not able to. I'm not able to do the mute all for some reason here. Okay, just hang on a second here. Oh, okay.
Okay, carry on, please.
Yes, hello, Mr. Kesh.
Hello, yes.
I don't know if you remember the carousel.
Just a minute. I had to mute all there in order to continue. We have to get you back up on your microphone. Go ahead.
Okay, yes.
That's better. Thanks.
Okay, I'm back. Yes, we'll get there. Yes, I don't know if you remember. I had presented this a few months back. The carousel. This is a newer model, so maybe you won't recognize it, and it's pretty hard to recognize when you look at it like this. But basically, what it is.
What is there in the middle? What's that shiny piece?
This one is a little crystal.
No. Next to the first coil.
This?
No, it's like a shining plastic on your coils.
Right here. This is aluminum.
No, next to it at the bottom.
At the bottom.
No.
Oh.
Here, after the big coil, you have a very shiny material. What is that?
Let me verify on my side if I could see it on the camera. Okay. Maybe.
Take the big coil and move your finger inwards. Yeah. What is? No. Go back. What is this? The one you're touching now.
It's glue. It's actually glue.
What glue?
Well, actually, I broke my bowl earlier today, and I put glue in the bowl.
Ah, okay. And what is on your capacitors on the other side? Those are glue too?
No. No, I might be having, see the colors that you're talking about here?
No, here, there is like capacitors in the background with the red cable coming out of it. Yeah, what you're holding now.
Yes.
On the top of them. Did you use glue on the top of them?
Yes.
You know these glues are hazardous, fire hazardous. They are fire hazards. Can cause a lot of problem. We see a lot of people using these coils and these hot glues, and they build a picture, and we know a couple of fires have started with them.
Okay, that's good to know. Silicon would be better.
You're carrying a huge amount of energy, and you can literally set your house on fire.
Yes, I wouldn't plug that in the wall. That's right.
Doesn't matter because it's a capacitor, it builds up energy.
Okay.
And any of you uses these hot glues for connection, especially like this, is a disaster waiting to happen. You will understand sooner or later.
Well, the hot glue is made to for the tubes, to block the tubes.
Yeah, but don't use anything in line that any wire touches them.
Okay.
Yes, separate. As a container holder is not a problem. But I see you using between your cores. This is a recipe for disaster. We keep on warning, and sooner or later you will see huge problem with it. Do not use hot glue with especially wires you use with plasma. They are doing it, but those who do, and then you run into problem with it later on. We've seen reports of people setting things on fire, overheating, and the plastic melts or the glue melts. Okay.
Fantastic. And at least we get to clarify it for people not to use it anymore.
Yeah.
So we're
Thank you very much. Carry on.
Yes. So this is a 36 tube cells that I made. This is pretty new, but I wanted to ask you some questions on this, because basically it's a McGrath, but
Yeah.
the way it's made, let me explain it real fast. We got the center coil that's in the tube. I did not really like add any GANs in the tube or anything for this model. So we got two wires coming out. There's one that I re-loop on the top of the tube itself, and then I put aluminum tape all around it so it becomes a wire in itself. And then I build capacitors by sections on top of it. So a little section of a capacitor, scut towel with GANs, with wax paper. I use a scut towel because it's not for home use. So long story short, then I put tape. I put another one, and I continue like that. So there's 12 capacitors in this one. So when I plug this directly on the 12 volt, there's no short. It acts like 12 capacitors in parallel. I wanted to know
12 capacitors in series.
I actually in parallel, because there's a center wire which is my aluminum, which touches all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And the McGrath is the same thing. I mean, if we do the same thing with the McGrath, we would have already amperage within it. Maybe it would help it in many ways. It would include the capacitors within the system.
Why not?
Yes. And I wanted to...
Because this is innovation. I keep on saying there is nothing wrong with whatever we do. It's just understanding what the outcome will be.
Yes. In this particular case, I think the spark gap in the circle will reinforce the system in many ways. It might be very practical.
Possible? Why not?
Yes. And I wanted to hear your thoughts on these two coils, because these two are also innovations. This one is the same principle, center coil in a tube with GANs and water. And then there's, I went with the Tesla configuration, which I call Tesla. It's based on this thing. So I got 4 coils here. I got 2 counterclockwise connected together, 2 clockwise connected together, and both are going in on each side of the center coil. That's inside, re-looping in itself like a McGrath, basically. So this, to me, when I tested frequency-wise, it was in the range of 8 Hertz and 20 Hertz. Well, actually 3 Hertz to 20 Hertz, pretty much an average of 8 Hertz, which I found quite interesting. And I said to myself, I got to make tests with this one with the ground, maybe, and try to see if I can't tap into the ground with this one. And this one's another one, but let's stay with this one. The flow of it, I could tell that it's more like static. It's not exactly the same thing. When I test it, I get the same results. 66 savings with this, 66 with a 90-degree McGrath, 66 with a McGrath, 66 with a Trinity cup, and that's pretty much it. So at the end of the day, I know that these coils work, because basically there's always the same principle that are in it. But what I find interesting is this one. Do you think I could... am I missing something with this one? And for my Fibonacci coil, well, that's a Fibonacci sequence that's inside, and the last sequence is the exterior coil, basically. It's a McGrath, but inside there's Fibonacci sequence, so it's 1 turn, there's a space, there's 2 turns, there's a space, there's 3 turns, there's a space, 5 turns, space, 8 turns, 13, 21, and so on. And it falls that the exterior one is the last one, and it's a complete coil. So it's this one has really an interesting energy field. When I plugged it, I had the impression that the energy was flowing in like a wavy, more organic fashion, less direct than the McGrath, more fluid, more snake-like, maybe would be a good description. It felt really good. It feels really good, but I haven't made tests to see if it what kind of savings. But I just have to guess it's the same thing because it passes through the liquid, and I get the savings when I go through the liquid when I use different metals as to create a better field potential, like aluminum and copper.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Very interesting. There's so many innovations, there's so many ways to do these things. And each one of us uses our intellect and the knowledge we gathered, and none of us is wrong.
That's beautiful. I've been starting to work with 3D models, and just this is my first print. It wasn't really thought out. I just decided to make a little device out of it. But it's
You mean you have a spare the 3D machine? You didn't know what to do with it.
well, it was, yes, it was my, well, actually it was my first print, one of my first prints. So I'm going to print many designs, and I have many ideas. Basically, you know, all the geometry forms have to be done, and there's a lot of work to be done. All the configurations of each system has to be, like, you know how it is. We have to do all the tests, and I have to do it.
We understand. Thank you very much. It's an insight. This is what we got to do. We got to, we do not know what this triggers in some other people, that it brings us a new way of thinking or a new system or new technology. Thank you very much indeed. If you have anything like this you want to present in the December scientific conference, we give you a platform. We find somewhere a platform for all of you to be able to do it. There is something which is getting printed in the background by the Keshe Foundation team. Under no circumstances they would like us, or me, to repeat. We allow any Belgium citizens or Belgium passport holder, or we see any connection with Belgium, to attend any of the Keshe Foundation conferences. This is not to be prejudiced, it's to protect Keshe Foundations from the animal behavior of this, and these people who cover themselves by this national cover. We've seen them. The what do you call it? The security forces in Italy are aware of this fully, and the limit of what I call animal behavior has been proven in the West, and do not make application that we have to reject it. We find out, we will refuse. We have enough, what do you call it, the strength to make sure that will not happen. We monitor even the residents of the hotel, those who try to be clever, as we call them. So we are very heavily protected, and we are proud of being in that position to be able to protect our people. No Belgian citizen, national passport holder, except my wife, which I cannot help, will be allowed into the conference or any of the conferences, as long as the present behavior of the nation, management or rulers, stays the same. We do not allow terrorists who call the others terrorists to carry on their acts in the conferences. Thank you very much for reminding me.
Okay, are we done there, Stefan, or is there something else you want to show, or showing us there now?
Well, yes. Well, I would have a question on the gold GANs. Right now, I have 14 karat gold GANs that I've made with carbon and 14 karat gold. I want to know if there's anything that I should watch out for. Right now, I'm using it in a health cup, and I feel that it's very good. It feels very energetically, feels great. So, but am I missing something? What?
I don't know what you're missing, what you want to miss that you see. I found it. Maybe you have everything you don't need.
Right. Yes.
That's what we said in the conference. Look at the what you bring positive, what is missing, somewhere I have to fill in. There is nothing missing. It's just adding more to become more peaceful, to satisfy the need.
Yes, of course.
What was your intention when you made it, Stefan?
Well, you see, the first approach when I do my test, the first approach, I always approach it on a non-intent approach. To see I start always with the basics. It's like you learn to walk before you learn to run, and you learn things at each level. You could jump levels, but it's always best to understand what manifests where and why. So by getting an approach that is a non-intent, but there's always the intent, right? The intent is the first intent of all was uniting everybody and bringing people to a consciousness where, you know, we are all connected and we all have abilities, and, you know, just getting people out of the dark, because basically a lot of truths were not listened to because of a lack of knowledge and lack of studying and so on. So for me, when I first saw Mr. Keshe, it was obvious to me that this, he to me was like a saint. He's like, finally somebody steps up and has a method and seems to be doing it quite well, and everything was so well thought of. So my intent was to give it all I have to prove to the world that this technology works, and then continue on my own spiritual journey. But
I meant more specifically for this particular GANs. I mean, that was sort of a
same thing. It's always the same thing. When I do something new, if this was new, I try to keep it, you know, like, I just try to have a no mind intent. So I get to see the pure basics of it. But even so, we always intending something. We're intending to learn. In my case, it's always an intending to learn and to discover and to start with the basics.
Okay.
So
Thank you very much.
at the end of the day, it's peace. But to me, also, the superconductivity and the monoatomic gold has always been something that interested me, because I knew that it would hold the knowledge of many things. And through cultivation itself, I had acquired those things without needing technology to assist me. Technology was a way for people to get out of the trap that they're kindly in. That's the only reason why we need it, is because people need to be able to listen to themselves a bit more, and instead of listening to others, finding the truth within themselves.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing knowledge with us. Are there any other presentations?
Yeah, thank you, Stefan. Mr. Keshe, I'm told by Bob Young that a Chinese knowledge seeker wants to share his generator.
Yes, go ahead.
Have a look at that. Okay, so I'm not sure who that is. There is a couple of viewers with their hand up. One of them is Bob Young, so I'll put him in there. And I think the other one is Ruthie, that maybe is involved with that too. So Ruthie has been asking many questions in the chat. Has been mainly answered by Vernie in the chat and so on. But I think they have some questions from the Chinese sector on GANs in particular, but maybe we'll have a look.
Yes, please go ahead. Are they there?
Not yet. They're in the panelists, I believe. But Bob, do you want to speak there? Bob, your microphone's open, but I'm not hearing you. Hello, Bob. We're not hearing you, Bob. You need to patch in your microphone somehow there. Oopsie, I think he dropped out there. I suspect Bob had some trouble with his, oh, he says, sorry, his mic has some problems. So I think he's coming back in, doing the Kesh advised restart your Zoom and things magically heal somehow in the process. Okay, he's back again. Hi, Bob, can you talk now? Still not hearing you.
Check your microphone on the option in the Zoom.
Thank you. Yes, this you can check.
Hello.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Cash. Yeah, good morning.
He needed some advice from the master, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Fresh. Thank you, Bob.
Harry, please promote. His ID is 123 something, 2 Chinese characters.
Okay, there's 2 123s, but the 123 something I will promote. Yes, okay. The something was the Chinese part that I can't interpret.
It's very interesting that while we are teaching, there are fringe teaching going on in the background with other Keshe Foundation members. It's very interesting. It's become a conference with the fringe teachings every Thursday.
Okay, so
can you promote him?
He's promoted now. I think Bob, he's there now, right? Do you want to talk to him?
Okay.
It's 123.
Yes, 123 with +2 Chinese characters.
Yes. Yeah, he's in as a panelist there now. And I can unmute him. Maybe that'll help. Hello, 123.
我可以听到，你说。
凯斯老师您好然后各位知识寻求者大家好今天我上来是给大家分享一下我的压缩机系统及能量单元，我做了一下改动。
你直接分享屏幕吧。
我看一下。
He said he's trying to share his generators. He made some changes to it.
Okay, I've asked him to start the video, so see if he can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Screen sharing. Okay.
这样可以吗？
可以。
Yeah, we can see. You're gonna increase your picture.
放大一点。放大一点。
Yeah. Now move it up.
好，就这么大可以了。
然后我还有，然后这是展示的一个系统，然后这个能量单元呢，我进行了一个改动，然后我加了一个无线环在能量单元里面，这样的话会更好的看到单元的一个效果出来。
He said he added an infinite loop inside this megagraph unit. Maybe there is some improvement.
Pardon? What has he done?
He added an infinite loop in the center of this megagraph unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can see some improvement.
No. There is something we have to say. I don't know if it's gone back on blueprint or not. In the blueprint, the original blueprint, there is a slight mistake. It's not a mistake, it's just the way it's been drawn, initially thought, and then it's corrected. can we have the blueprint while you're there? Stay there. Can you bring the blueprint out, please? Of Renan, are you there in the background? The blueprint has a, if you want to understand it, a connection problem or a connection adding that it is important to understand. And that is, you come from your power supply, you come to the positive of your capacitor set, and you go out to the negative of the capacitor set into the stacker unit. This is wrong. It has to be the way where you come to the center, which is a negative, and then you take from the positive. There has been a problem in this drawing. It's just been reversed. I inquired about it at the time it was put. It was said it was going parallel, and I emphasized that it was parallel. But we checked again. It has to be corrected, which means when you come from your power supply, whatever it is, you come into the negative of the capacitor and you go out of positive. Somehow in understanding of the drawing, the picture has been turned. Please correct it in the blueprint. And this is one of the problems which we have noticed. You come in from, can I have a blueprint? Can I have a whiteboard, please? Just give me a second, we come back in again. Rick, can you give me a whiteboard? Okay, at the moment what you have, yes, it's okay. At the moment what you have is this, and it has to be checked. I hope Renan has changed it in the blueprint. You come from the power supply, positive, negative, and you go into 4 capacitors. This is the present drawing where you come this way and you take your wires from the negative and you go out. This is wrong. This has been put in wrong. It has to be this way. You come to the negative, you got your coils, and then you go to positive into the negative of the maggrav. Some of you might have had a problem with this, and so it comes in and it goes through the negative. You go to the center pole, not into the positive. Somehow in the drawing it's been turned 180 degrees. Yeah, I inquired about this at the beginning. I said no, it's in parallel, it has to be. And now we know that it has to be changed back into the original shape, which is positive, negative. So you come power supply, you go through the plasma system, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. The what you call the structure changes quite a lot. We've seen this, and so I hope for those of you who didn't notice it, on the blueprint should be changed, and if it can be updated. You might find totally different performance from your system. There are addition to the maggrav system which we will add to the system for you to check. We have realized very recently in past, we are checking still. Arman came up with this past 24 hours, 48 hours. He has discovered there could be a possibility of error in or not getting a better performance from the maggrav system with some connections. We will announce this once we are checking in the factory. We are checking in Italy to see if this is the case. We'll inform you, and then we tell you how you can adjust it. That increases the what you call the potential of your system's reduction. Some of you who couldn't see a massive reduction, it could be a connection missing in one of the drawings that you have created, and it has happened in our factory production in some materials. We are checking it as usual. We are not afraid of mistakes. We are very open about it. If it is there, it has to be corrected. This is what we just noticed in past couple of days in respect the connection into the generator. Please adjust it, and if you have made generators and you're waiting for it to see how it works, the capacitor by somehow misunderstanding or mistake in the drawing stage has been put back to front. Remember something very important. When you make these units, this is essential. This is very important that you come from the supply, you come into the 4 capacitors, and then you go into a maggrav system. These 3 maggrav systems should not have any capacitance or any capacitor in any shape as a maggrav unit with them. They are applied on their own. I've seen some people doing this, using the maggrav system with all the capacitors in the back and the front for this purpose. This cannot be done. It has to be the stacker unit without any capacitor, because you have capacitors here. These will trigger problems in your system. The other thing, which is again with your development of the capacitors, please remember how to make these capacitors. It's important. The capacitors are made in a strict way, in a very, very specific way. You can go up to 3, maybe 4 nano if you get it the right way. Understand how it's done. It's very important because we are still ourselves learning in this process. You have the GaNs of CO2. You may create nano GaNs of copper oxide by heating the copper wire very high, creating nanocoat, and then you dip it in a very cold water. You get this lot of sparkling and the splashing of black stuff. You need that black stuff to add to this. This is a nano GaNs copper on your coils. The way it's been done, these coils are added with gel, which has in it the component of NOH. These are very little things you have to pay attention to give a very high powerful capacitors. In the background, Renan will add this to the blueprint. We are not just showing something to show. We are guiding you step by step why some of you and you cannot produce certain materials. You got to remember very clearly how you roll these capacitors. Paper, you put this on a paper, or you put this on the aluminum side, you put a lower on the paper side. You can put a CO2 with a gel, with the OH on your paper winding, and then with a copper oxide, nanomaterial, GaNs material added to it on the aluminum. You let it dry, that you cannot scrape it off, it joins in it. When you look at the ones which Douglas makes, they are literally as part of the metal. They fuse into the structure and they give you a very high potential capacitance. These are little things you have to do, you have to look for. Every day I sit and I learn from the teachings in the Innovation Center, and we don't pay much attention to it, but little adds to the strength and gives you what you want. Please, when you use a maggrav system, only use the coils and not the capacitors and the other one. The capacitors have to be in the right direction. When you look at the compressors, one compressor has to be much bigger, powerful than the other one. You can't use parallel compressors, and then you get your condition of flow. The compressor connection is updated again because some people could not understand how it works. It's been upgraded. Please, Renan will put it up in a new version. A line which was connecting the compressor into the capacitor beyond has been taken off for maximum efficiency and the connection. The new version, the new upgrade diagram for maggrav has been set. Please check it. if you build one and just recheck that it goes, the ratio has to be very big, 1 to 2 if you can do. There is a thermostat controller of the current flow in some of the capacitors. Please do not take it out. We've seen it burning out, and we had it past couple of days ourselves. So, Brennan, please update the drawing of the generator that people can check and check again. We try to be very precise in how you make things, how you develop your GaNs materials, and how you make your winding of the capacitors and your stacker units, and how you connect it. This makes a lot of difference for a lot of you who could not get your system going. Capacitor direction has to be changed. The line between the compressor and the capacitor has to be taken out. You don't need to have capacitance or capacitors with your stacker unit. In the process of generation, you don't need that. And then what you do, you take your load across out as it should be.
May I ask a question?
Yes, we still with our Chinese friend are in the queue. Can you wait?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Rick. Can we go back to our Chinese colleagues, please?
Mr. Cash,
Yes, Mr. Armand.
there is one more thing, you know, that you have a
Can you speak louder, please, Armand?
you have to connect backwards, in a drawing, you have to add one more thing, that the negative side, it has to connect the capacitors together.
Yeah, they are in parallel.
Yeah, with the stacker.
Pardon?
With the stacker, they are in parallel.
No, they are not. It's not. That's the problem. It has to be turned the other way around. They are not in parallel. The capacitors are in series with the stacker. In the drawing, it's a mistake. The 4 capacitors are in parallel with each other, but they sit in series with the stacker unit.
Yeah, the 4, actually, the 4 and 4, they are in parallel.
And we have only one set of 4.
Okay, one set of 4. We were putting 2 sets of 4.
You can do 2, or you can go to 12 to increase the power supply. In the very near future, we are testing things in the background that we can show you. You can produce huge amount of power out of these systems. But let us do our work. Literally off the board understanding is passed the knowledge on. And we have seen other testing going on, other development going on. We are reconsidering the position and connections of the capacitors and the rest. Can we go back to the Chinese, please?
Sure. Bob, can you ask 1, 2, 3 what to do there? He wants to share again, I think.
OK，你可以再共享一下屏幕了，还在吗？
在的。
OK, he's sharing again.
OK, carry on.
继续吧。
我的电容，我刚刚看一下，我的电容呢，确实是放在能量单元的中心的，然后电容正好也是串联的。不过不知道，我看你打的字，我不知道是不是这样的一个情况。
它不是在它中间，那个是串联的，但是它是4个并联在一起，然后串联在能量单元和它串联在一起的。
对，我是串联，但我的电容也放在了能量单元的中间，正好是替换的，就是干丝球。
哦，这样是吧？ 好，那我问一下他这个。And he said his 4 capacitors is in the center of the stack unit, in the place of the GANs balls. So do you
Why
have
not?
it?
If he works and he gives him a response, why not? We learn from them.
No, it's not working up to now. He said when he switched it on from A to B, he saw some sparks on the switch. So
Don't know what is it connected? Is it connected to a battery or to a grid?
他问你是怎么连接这个？是用市电启动的，还是那个用它的那个电池启动？
市电启动的。
哦，用市电。He said connect to the grid. Yeah.
Yeah. Then when it switches on, you take the grid off, and it's just a start.
他说你市电切换。
You have a potential difference. You see the energy release.
他说电势不一样，你这样切换的时候是有火花，这样。
我是用那个。
直接问了我火花的问题。
我是用的那个船型开关嘛，它就是直接切换的时候那边市电是断开的嘛，然后这头它直接就接触，它接触的时候那边是完全断开的。可以看一下吧，要不我把船型开关给你知道吧？应该我可以给你看一下。
你看一下吧。
What energy do they get?
I'm sorry? He's showing the switch. I don't know what the name is.
Tell him to move to the right. It's come too close, we can't see anymore.
往右边挪一点，你要保证桌子在那个摄像头中间。
Maybe he can turn the camera down. So I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right, Rick. What is there? There's a drill?
有个电钻嘛，他说。
Compressor.
那个是这个吗？这个是这个。
这是绕线机。
是那个绕线机。
哦，绕线机。It's for winding coils.
这个就是个船型开关，这边切换的时候，它另一边是完全断开的。
Action switch. He said when switch to the other side is the first side is completely disconnected. So there isn't any problem on the switch, Mr. Cash.
Okay, thanks very much. But that's the two compressors look to be the same, equal, and it will have a problem.
他说这个两个压缩机是一样的嘛，这样就没有电势差是不行的，必须要一个大一个小，一个强一个弱。
对的，就是一个大一个小的。
Is that it's different? They're different.
They're different. Okay, no problem. But ask him to look at the blueprint. Hopefully, Renan will put it up today, tomorrow. This is an update on the what do you call the generators. They need to be adjusted on the drawing.
Okay.
Is Douglas in the background? Can you see Douglas? Or he's not there?
Uh, 他说，开始先说你这个之后要改善一下这个连接方式，然后之后那个瑞尼会改一下蓝图的，所以现在启动不了也比较正常吧。OK。
然后还有其他的什么吗？
I don't see Douglas right now, Mr. Kish.
He's not there?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. He must be asleep. Please. Can you go back? Somebody made a comment. What was that comment? Who made that comment? Can you see with the last comment which just came up on the Zoom chat?
Mark Herb says, is Mr. Cash dyslexic?
I don't know. You come and check. Never been one. Can you delete him, please? Take him off the chat. Don't let him back in. Okay, go back. We don't need trolls. Just delete him up. Don't let him back in ever. You have to allow the system to reset itself. You have to allow the system to operate in a new manner. And something which we notice in different experiments is that how you position these two compressors will affect the performance of some of the systems. We are trying to replace the compressors with solid state. We're testing in different ways. So when you work with these compressors, even with what we realize, the positioning of the system, maggrav systems into the compressors can and could have effect on the performance. Any other question?
还有问题吗？
可以问一个，这个，请凯史老师看一下我这样的无限环，如果我不断的往外加，就是说1、2、3、4、5、6啊，这样不断的往外加，这样是否可以？
是什么意思？不断往外加？
就是说无限环。
我知道。
这1、2。
Excuse me, is this the stacker unit? A stacker 1, a stacker 2, a stacker 3?
No, this infinite loop. Can we add more loops outside the smallest loop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Why not? It could be beneficial.
他说可能也很有效。
这种是可以的，是吧？
可能比较有效，他说，有效的。
是。好，谢谢。
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Cash.
Thank you very much. There is nothing wrong. You open. You're the frontier runners of this technology. You try, you tell, we see, we learn. Any others?
Mr. Cash,
yes?
This is Rosie. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay. Because recently we mentioned a lot to drink the plasma liquid, but there is some discussion in Chinese group that some people said that don't drink too much the liquid plasma because maybe it will have some heavy metal inside it, will impact the health. So I hope you can clarify this. And
depends what you call heavy metal. There is no, when you make these water should have no metal left in it. There should be nothing. It should be clear top, the top you take. And you should not be digesting anything to have a heavy metal. Where does the heavy metal come in? You have a zinc and copper, and that's all it is. Unless you use other materials which we don't know, that's all it is. You use the water, the top, which is very pure. You don't use the bottom. And whatever if there is any structure left even in the top, it just purifies through the body. It takes with it what is not needed. It's a plasma condition, it's not a matter condition, it doesn't interact with the body. is in the cancer state, which is monoatomic, and it does not carry a structure with it. Should not use any water near the GANS material. You always let it fully settle and you just take the top, especially if you're using it for digestion.
And what about quantities, Mr. Kesh?
We don't advise more than 1 or 2 spoons a day.
Right. Some people might be having cups of it or more.
Oh my God. We don't advise more than 1 or 2 or 3 spoons a day.
Okay, and I have another question. That is, some Chinese people, they do some tests, and they found that if they use the salt which has iodine inside it, and they found that maybe it's not a good quality GANS, or maybe it's just only a chemistry mixture, and they found that should be used the sea salt. So is the adding in the salt will impact the quality of the GANS, or even some salt? I know they have added the fluoride inside it.
I don't know, it depends. When you use a sea salt, you carry everything which is in the sea. This is what we say all the time. Is the sea salt GANS one of the best things because it carries all the minerals we need? Maybe yes, but on the other hand, it carries other things which we don't want to have as well. That is what is inside. If you don't have, and what you introduce, would our body take from it, or would our body reject it?
Yes, because in China, the salt must added some iodine inside it by the government, or some rule that when you produce.
Yeah, but you use the GANS of it, and then the liquid GANS of it. If the body needs it, we'll take it. If it doesn't link up with it. It's exactly how we deal with cancer. If there is a lack and there is a wrong, and it needs to bring a balance, the body will take, otherwise it doesn't take the rest. It's a very interesting phenomena, and a lot of, maybe this answers partially what you're talking about. If you go on certain type of food digestion system, or go and eat for food, if you eat, for example, man-made additives and reprocessed food, these have combinations which your body is not unknown, so it tries to store it. When it comes, it might need it. But if you eat, for example, 100 grams of, let's say, a fruit, has all the vitamins, minerals which you need for that day or for your body need, the rest of it, if you eat a kilo of it, the body has to work to get rid of that extra amounts you've eaten. And that creates and takes energy, and is one of the best ways for those who want to lose weight, but in a specific way. And this works the same way. Body only takes in the natural process what it needs, and the rest is rejected. When you add and hold solid GANS, because then it attaches to the, in a way, absorbs a lot of energy to itself, if it's heavy metals, whatever you call the GANS of. But if there is a need to the body for that energy, it gives it too. So your body doesn't hold on to what doesn't need, and it finds a way to process it. And especially in a GANS state, it's directly rejected. We'll show some what we call data, scientific data, that you'll understand very, very rapidly. That's why it was so successful with Fukushima. If you remember, with the test of the GANS on the mouse, how they measured everything which came out of the body of the animal was equal to the poison, or what you call it, radioactive material, which they gave to the animal to start with. The rest doesn't work, is non-toxic, which means it doesn't destroy the body. There is a lot of rumors goes in China, we hear it, and this is something They are aware of different things, and they try to connect the technology to their understanding. It's respected, but it has to be put in order as well.
Okay, thanks. But is there any method to test the GANs? Because some people said that, so you said before, the GANs can't be dissolved in the strong acid or strong alkaline liquid, and so they put the GANs inside it and found some of GANs disappear and some.
So they are not GANs. They are not GANs. We see that. We know that. There are different ways of testing it. You have to understand, part of the process goes in the matter state and part of the process stays in the gas state. And partially the acid itself create a condition for the gas to convert to near enough to a matter state or energy state. Don't forget, just because you put acid in there, you are separated. The acid with the GANs in absorbing the energy, it creates the environment which can use part of the GANs itself. It doesn't dissolve in it. Now it's taking a new stage and it's a new state.
So we can't
what
use
you have. Let me explain this. What you have when you add these acids to left means the acid is saturated with what it needs from the GANs. It doesn't dissolve it. It's like another virus. It takes energy from it. You have to understand the process. What kind of acid, what's the kind of GANs, and what is the energy transfer in the plasma condition. It doesn't dissolve. This is what we explain even in a test, that you see the center core emptying, or you see your core emptying. Oh, it's empty. It's not emptied. The energy is transferred in the GANs into the balanced condition of its environment. Inside is pure plasma, it's pure field. Translate the knowledge the way it is, not to fit with what it's something to explain the wrong way. When you add acid, I had this discussion with the Innovation Center yesterday, I think, or today, regarding the use of acids in cores to increase the alkalineness or acidic. And I explained to them the same thing. If you want to add an acidic in a gas, you find an acidic gas which is high, that it can interact. You don't go and buy sulfuric acid and add to it. You can find materials which are highly acidic, but they carry, or they're produced by the fruit, which means it's in the state of gas. I've explained this many times. In a gas state, you don't lose your matter. It means the environment you put it in needs the energy of the gas for it to become to balance with the gas. What is left is the balance which was not needed. If you add more acid, you'll find the rest disappear too. It's an energy transfer. It's not dilution. What's the time? It's nearly 4 hours, 20 minutes we've been going. Shall we call it a day, Rick?
Sure, absolutely, Mr. Fresh. I think you earned your pay today.
Oh, not good enough. I need a little bit more. The payment is not good. Can I have a little bit more, boss?
Okay, double.
Double. Let me explain again, please. If you want to show your technology, if you want to show your science, if you want to show or learn from the people who are doing it, if you are a manufacturer manufacturing different kind of things of the Keshe Foundation, GANs and whatever, or if you want to come and learn new ways, as we announced, you can book. We are not holding any reservation. It has to be done and completed immediately. You can attend the conference in Rome, 12, 13, 14. Submit papers. If you want to bring papers, or if you want to share knowledge, we accept your papers to be shown. If you're a housewife, you developed something very simple, you're still a scientist. If you're an electronic engineer or a professor and you want to show something, you still have the same room. We close these bookings very quickly now because as you've seen in Rome, we reached the numbers we put out. I think about 500 seats in the conference room is enough, and we only have 400 accommodation. It starts on Saturday, 11th, you can arrive. 12th, 13th, 14th is a presentation of the papers, and we finish on the 15th. 15th is the Thursday. We'll do a live presentation of the teaching, depending on what room capacity we can get, because we know the main hall will be available. If you want to apply for Ghana, Ghana has opened up. It's mainly scientific for Ghanaian and the other nationals in Africa. If you want to join there, again, we confirm the conference in April and March. It's us who's got to build the technology, not somebody comes and do it. You build a system, you discover something, you've done acid with GANs and you want to write a paper with it, and it's applicable, you have a platform. No organization gives such a freedom for sharing knowledge. And the organization is us, is you, and you have to build it. The more conferences, the more we publish papers, the easier will be understood. It's not something on the internet. When you have presented a paper in a world conference, maybe from 30, 40, 50 nationalities will attend, you gain your own statue and your own stage for delivering knowledge. There is no control, and we allow you to bring in. You have a reactor you want to show, and we support these kind of moves. Come in and share knowledge. We've seen it in past conferences. People don't even go to sleep. They're around the clock, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, just share knowledge. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's the question.
Thank you indeed.
No, I think we're done the questions now, so we could save
We're
it.
going for 4.5 hours, nearly 4
Save
hours.
it for next week.
Payment for next week, yeah. We meet you next Thursday. Don't forget the teaching on the 15, 16, 17, around that time from Ghana will come from Ghana. We'll teach from the knowledge seekers will come from Ghana direct live. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was going to show the Ghana as a screen share.
Yes, please do the Ghana and then we can go.
Do you want to show the actual video?
Yeah, show the video, yes. We are proud to be in Africa, and we are proud because there is so much knowledge coming out of Africa. It's unbelievable. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me get that set up here. That's...
Keshe Foundation Ghana, in association with Ghana Atomic Commission and Ghana Spaceship Institute, would like to invite you to attend the New Dawn, Africa's Meteoric Rise and Spaceship Technology Conference, October 17th through 19th, 2016, in Ghana. Keshe Foundation Ghana's mandate is to build awareness and promote research into plasma technology. The Foundation is presently working with governmental institutions and other interest groups in Ghana to fulfill this goal. At the conference, you will be afforded the opportunity to learn about and experience plasma technology firsthand. The cost of admission to the conference includes 3-night stay in one of Ghana's prestigious hotels. Hotel packages include a single, double, or twin room option, and an option for an apartment or suite. Breakfast, tea, and coffee breaks and a buffet lunch on the days of the conference are also included. Keshe Foundation Ghana is focused on utilizing plasma technology to solve numerous problems facing the African nation. Come to the New Dawn, Africa's Meteoric Rise and Spaceship Technology Conference in Ghana. Learn about plasma technology and learn how you can participate in spreading the word about it. Together, we can bring freedom to Africa and humanity. and we hope to see you there.
And that's the end of the 137th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Thank you everybody for attending, and we'll end the live stream now.